Hello, Miss Steele here. So this week we are talking about abstract art and non-objective art. So art that just is kind of made up of shapes and colors and lines. We're going to be focusing on Henri Matisse for this project. And he loved to paint using a lot of organic shapes and a few geometric. So we are going to paint by using scissors and paper. So what you want for this project is a pencil and an eraser, scissors, glue, and then you want a long skinny piece of white paper because this is what we're going to be gluing onto. And then you want some pieces of colored paper. If you don't have colored paper, you could always use white paper and color on it using a colored pencil, a marker, a crayon, but we don't want to cut out white paper and put it on white paper because we would not be able to see it as much. So I'm actually going to set this aside because what you are going to do is you're going to cut 6 shapes using this anchor, or if you make up your own, that's okay. But you want them to look like a Henri Matisse shape. So you want 6 shapes that are bigger than your palm, 6 shapes that are medium size, and then 6 shapes that are small. And then you're going to arrange them and glue them down in a way that you think looks best. So I am going to start, and I just have some different colors of paper, and I am going to start with my brown paper. And what I would do is I would try to draw these shapes as similar to how I have them written. So there's one shape that is bigger than my palm. I could make another shape bigger than my palm. There's 2. And then I could go over to my pink paper and kind of keep going with this until I have 6 pieces. So I'm going to draw 6 large shapes and then cut them out so we can start arranging them onto our paper. Then we'll move on to our medium, and then we'll finish with our small. So biggest in the back, then medium, and then small. So I need 6 large pieces. So I'm going to look around at this and figure out what shapes I want to do, and then I'm going to get them cut out so we can start arranging them on the white paper. A lot of this is just about precise cutting because it's almost like we're painting with our scissors. So instead of painting these, we're using cutout pieces of paper. So while you're cutting, try to be mindful about it maintaining that shape, because if you cut it out sloppy, it's going to look sloppy, and you don't want that. So when you're cutting, try to be mindful about staying on the lines that you drew, because this is going to be a lot of cutting for this project, which we haven't done a project that has a lot of cutting involved yet. So I'm going to keep cutting out, and then we're going to see it once I can start arranging it on here because I have them all cut out. Alright, so I have my 6 big pieces, and now I'm going to decide how I want to arrange them on my paper. If they're hanging off, that's okay because I can trim them off at the corner for it. And so I'm just laying these down and kind of moving them around so I can figure out where I want each of them to go. So I'm going to keep moving these around and kind of readjusting them in a way that I think looks the best. And then I'm going to glue them down, and then we'll move on to our next step. So I have my first 6 large pieces glued down, and what I can do now is flip it over and just trim off anything hanging off the edge so it can all be squared off like that. So now my next step is going to be cutting 6 pieces that are now like medium sized, and then we're going to cut 6 pieces that are small sized. So I'm going to grab my red for this next one, and I'm going to start drawing whichever shapes I want that are a medium size, so a little bit smaller than this. So I'm going to keep drawing and cutting these out, and then we'll work on arranging our 6 medium size. So I'm going to keep figuring out which shapes I want to do, and then we'll get them cut out and glued down. Alright, so now I have my 6 medium sized, and again, I can go around and start thinking about where I want to glue or put everything. So I'm kind of looking around, looking for spaces that look like they could be filled and how each shape looks next to each shape. So I am going to keep moving these around until I find what I think is the perfect area for them. And then we'll move on to our 6 small. And then if I feel like any space needs filled, I might cut out some more. We'll just have to see. All right, so I am right here on that. I have my 6 large and 6 medium. And now I'm going to add in my 6 small, and then I'm going to finish and just look at what areas I feel like might need something else, and I'll see if I need to add anything else. But now I've cut out my large, my medium. Now I'm going to cut out my small, and they're going to be about a little bigger than a quarter, hopefully. And we want 6 of them because we did 6 large. Now we're going to do 6 medium and 6 small. I'm just making sure all my edges are nice and glued down because that takes some time. And we'll look at it whenever it's complete. Okay, so I have a little more than 6. I think I have 8 smaller pieces. And again, I'm just going to look at areas that I feel like need them, and that's where I'm going to glue them down. So I'm going to keep going through and filling in any of the gaps that I feel like need filled in. And then we will hopefully be finished. So I'm going to keep going through and filling in these gaps, and then we'll look at it once it is all complete. So I did 6 large, 6 medium, and I actually ended up doing 8 small. But if you feel like you don't need that many, then you don't have to. I'm actually pretty happy with mine, so I think I might consider it done. I might go in and try to fill in a few of these little gaps, but I kind of like the gaps and how they interact with what's on here. And that is going to be it. This is our Henri Matisse cutting with our scissors. So it's almost like painting with our scissors to get all these different shapes. I can't wait to see how yours come out. And I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful rest of your morning, your evening, your afternoon. Goodbye.